Virtual Ball Boys podcast. My name is Chris, and I am joined once again by my good friend Matt.
Kind of fucked up that the college bowl system started making edible mascots immediately after we started doing edible mascots.
Yeah, no, it is fucked. I want to talk to the commissioner of the Pop-Tart Bowl, and I want to find out if he's our one and only listener. Because, god damn it. You're already right there.
I think the funniest thing about that whole thing was a lot of other people asking other bowls if their mascots were edible.
Yes.
And some that made sense, like the Duke's Mayo Bowl. Sure. Some that didn't.
Like the military bowl. Like the the Mayo Bowl is like they have had a food element to it where you get showered with mayo.
But that took a lot of peer pressure.
Yes. Oh, but like it's the best. That's the thing. We need our bowls. Like, listen, everyone can sit here and talk about how college football is a bit fucked in many ways. But the reason why the bowls are fun is when they're fucking weird as shit, and we just, as a collective, need to continue to emphasize and pressure these bowls to get as weird as possible. Like, there's both maybe two. There's too many bowls, but there's not enough weird bowls. And like, I firmly appreciate Kellogg deciding, you know what, we should not have two Cheez-It bowls. That is asinine in many ways. As much as I love Cheez-Its. Let's change one of them. Is it Kellogg's? Am I fucking up the brand here? But
I actually have a box of Cheez-Its right here. It's what's the fucking brand? It is Kellogg. There you go.
All right, cool. I'm glad I at least got that right. But they're like, you know what? Let's go to another snack brand that we have in Pop-Tarts, and now let's double down where we had a where we would dump Cheez-Its on that winning head coach. Now, we're not even dumping anything. We're going to have the football players take a bite out of a living human being in a Pop-Tart costume.
Honestly, I think the motivation to be the first bowl team to take a bite out of a mascot would motivate me more than winning the game itself.
Yeah.
Be a part of history, damn it.
I agree. I hope beyond anything that we just continue to see that happen. We are going to make our bowl predictions this year, as we have in previous years, because it was a lot of fun last year. I don't know if we'll have a major bet associated with it, but we'll see.
Yeah.
I don't know if we'll pelk it up like last year, but we'll see. But I'm of course very excited about that. We'll find out the bowl lineups this Sunday, I think. And then I don't know if we'll do the predictions next week, but either this week or the week after, we'll make our picks.
The squeaking has begun.
I know, it's perfect timing.
It's literally whenever I'm talking to somebody else.
Yeah.
It's like when I am sitting there by myself, silently, nothing.
Yeah.
As soon as I talk on the phone, on Discord, if I'm talking to somebody else, he's got to make himself heard.
You know what, Remy? If there had to be a third co-host to Virtual Ball Boys, I think Remy would be a top candidate. So
he doesn't know shit about football.
Yes, but he's inserted himself into this situation. So I mean, I kind of feel like we just have to welcome him on. Listen, it has not stopped us from having third co-hosts who don't know shit about football before.
Also true.
We've done that plenty of times before. We're gonna go through this week. It's gonna be a chill week. It's recording late. Of course, we're recording a date late, which is why you're gonna see this in your feeds on Thursday instead of Wednesday. So we're gonna do a quick episode. Really, we're gonna go through a recap of week 12, Thanksgiving week. We will go through our third football team for the VBBFL, and we'll make our predictions. We'll also discuss news out of Charlotte as well. At least that was the major news that came out of this week. But before we do that, let's go ahead and do our recap. We'll start with the game of the week. And I know that this team was on this 2 weeks in a row, but it just kind of felt like there was a need to talk about this one because it just feels like it was the obvious pick for game of the week. Bills at Eagles. It was an overtime. It felt like the Bills were back. It felt like they were dominating the game in a very similar way that the Chiefs were dominating the game against the Eagles the week before. And once again, the Eagles got put into a position where they roared back. And man, this is just a brutal loss for the Bills, who, like the Eagles, have a very difficult schedule moving forward, and it's getting worse for them to like lose a game like this that you could have had and you could have survived, but now this is yet another loss for this team. Like the Bills needed this way more than the Eagles needed this, and it's just a bummer of a loss on that front. But the Eagles are currently, it feels like the best team in football. It just feels like that. There's no questions about that at this point.
They really do. Jalen Hurts. As a Jalen Hurts fantasy manager this year,
sure.
Who is I can't say that Jalen's carrying my team because the rest of my team is pretty good too. But
sure.
Humble brag. Yeah, had to slip that in there. Yeah. But I've had a little bit more special rooting interest, and you can't score 5 touchdown passes or total touchdowns and not just be like an amazing player. The Eagles being able to show up and withstand the surging Bills team. The one difference between the Eagles and it feels like every other Super Bowl contending team right now is that the Eagles beat good teams.
That's huge. Yeah.
Which is huge because that's something that you can't say right now about the Dolphins or the Cowboys. We're going to see about the 49ers very soon.
Right.
But yeah, the Eagles are actually able to face good teams and defeat them. And even the Chiefs, haven't really defeated good teams, and they've lost to the Broncos.
Right.
So,
maybe the Broncos are good though.
The Broncos are good now though,
right.
But also they couldn't be a good team. So
no, 100%.
There you go.
And I think, I think that when you look at the a lot of the times when we talk about Super Bowl teams after the Super Bowl, it is usually both. Like the winner to an extent has a slump. Like we haven't had a repeat champion since the Patriots of the early 2000s.
Yep.
There is some kind of regression, even if that just means that they lose the Super Bowl next year. But always the loser of the Super Bowl feels like they specifically have like a slump. That wasn't true of like the 2017 to 18 Patriots. But most of the time that does happen, and I think that the Eagles are kind of in a good position right now to kind of make an easy run here at a number 1 seed and potentially get to would it be shocking if they lost the playoffs? No, but it just feels like they're putting themselves in a position to make it to the Super Bowl again this year because again it's a weird NFC.
It also feels wild that they lost both of their coordinators and are still this dominant.
100%. I mean, it's a credit to Sirianni, who
for sure
I think is has such a personality. One that I think that rubs some people the wrong way, but I kind of enjoy it. He's like what a Philadelphia coach would be in terms of just being like mouthing off to like opposing fans and not having a care in the world. It's good shit in that sense. But I don't know. I think that he's done such a great job, and I think the roster, as always, the Eagles have always had a impressive roster to a certain extent,
for sure.
And that regime that has been there, like they just have continued over and over again to put this team in such a great position to continue to thrive. And like I don't know, it would be a bummer in a way that you only walk away out of this era, whatever if it ever ends, whenever it does end, for the Eagles, and you only have one Super Bowl. So it would make sense that they get a second one at some point soon. The blowout of the week goes to the Eagles' rivals and the Cowboys. Commanders at Cowboys. Matt, I do want to say, like, a couple weeks ago, maybe a week ago, I forget. I brought up that there was some talk about Dak Prescott as an MVP candidate. And I remember you were. Like,
I was wrong.
Well, no, because you were like you were hearing the opposite, which is fair.
Yeah.
Because I think that we've gotten now used to the idea of Dak Prescott. Like, he's not been terrible, but he keeps turning the ball over and things like that. He's had a really it feels like it's under the radar how good of a season he's had.
Yeah.
And I think this game showed that where he could be in that running. I would still be surprised if he ended up winning the MVP, but
right.
it's not insane, and like he's just had a very impressive year, and I think there's something about this Cowboys team that, like, I don't know, we get caught up in them and they always let us down, but there's just something about this Cowboys team that does feel like it's going to be a tough out when it comes down to it. I don't know if it's that the offense is just starting to kick in a way that feels like they're going to be hard to stop, or if it's the defense that has always been good under Dan Quinn, and like I don't know what it is about this Cowboys team, but it just feels like that they're kind of putting themselves in the position to probably let us down again, but they seem like they're in a good spot.
Yeah, I want to see them play more good teams.
Yes,
you know,
that.
And it's like the arguments against the beatdowns have always been, they're playing against shit teams. Yeah, but I mean, you want them to beat shit teams, and the fact that they're beating them by this much is a good thing.
Right. I mean, like, we're talking about a team that did in week 3 get completely blown out by a Cardinals team that they've won only one other time since, and that was against like a Falcons team, right? Like, I don't know, like but that was with like Kyler Murray returning, and like that, but like still, like that was still such a stunner of a loss, and like the fact that they're in this mode where they're not making headlines by losing to the Commanders on Thanksgiving or losing to the Panthers the week before, like I thought they would, like that's a good sign. But you're right, like you do want to see them. You know, they do have a tough schedule. They have the Bills and Dolphins on their schedule. They have the Eagles still coming up again. Like they have some tough opponents on there. And they have the Seahawks on Thursday, which I know the Seahawks have been iffy as of late, but it may be still a team that might be interesting to watch. So I don't know. That'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Chaos of the week. At first I was like, man, was there chaos this week? I don't remember there being chaos. I thought I was gonna have to like put the Panthers in here because they didn't win, but like there's just chaos around that whole situation. But then I was just like, wait, no, the first fucking game of the week was the Packers beating
I'm so
the Lions.
sad.
Yeah, the Packers beating the Lions.
I'm so sad.
Which I mean, look, I was happy because it was by chaos, but at the same time, I'm bummed. You know,
should have thought about the waxing gibbous.
I know that's the funniest shit that you said.
All right. By the way, like shout outs to like as much as Twitter sucks nowadays. Jay Kuda.
Okay.
Is like one of the single best follows you could possibly have right now.
Okay. Wait, what does he mainly do?
He makes all the weird graphics that I send you.
Like everything when it comes to like the NFL specifically.
Yeah, okay, and MLB, but like he's the one who figured out the waning or waxing gibbous thing.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, at JAYCUDA.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna look into him because I'm always, especially nowadays, you know, when Twitter is really gonna just end one of these days because boy, Musk has really put his musk on it.
Yep. But like here's an example. It's teams without a World Series. And there's 5 teams. It's the Mariners, the Rays, the Rockies, the Padres, and the Brewers. And then also it's a Venn diagram. So next to the fucking Padres and the Rockies, it's teams that can impersonate a package delivery worker.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of dumb shit like this.
Yes, I like that. Well, how do you spell it again? Just so I have it.
At JAYCUDA.
CUDA. Okay.
Good follow.
Yeah. His most recent tweet says steals and assisted basketball versus baseball. And it says steal NBA defense, baseball offense, assist NBA offense, baseball defense. Good. And it's just this crudely drawn chart that has.
They're all. They're all like. A lot of his stuff looks like it was made in MS Paint.
This is very good. I'll give him a follow. Good stuff. Thank you for your service, Jay Kuda. But yeah, Lions that's a bummer. And I think. I don't know. I don't want to be too hard on the Lions, but I do think that we are maybe being a little. I mean, granted, I put them in the Super Bowl, but like, I also recognize that I don't think that's really what this season was going to be. I think that at the very least, you want to end the season winning the NFC North. If you
winning the NFC North, I even think winning a playoff game is.
I hope so. I think that's not impossible. I think this is a decent team. Like, I think that they're a very good team. And if they win a division, they're probably gonna be a 3 seed because the NFC South is a fucking mess. And so you'll probably get a team that you can beat.
You'll probably play the Cowboys. Might be the 5 seed.
Right. So I'm thinking like.
But you'll get the Vikings.
Yeah, Vikings, Rams. You could
beat the Rams.
I know the Packers just beat you, but you can beat the Packers. Like
you can beat the Packers for sure.
Like. I don't know. Like it's a bum. It's a bummer. Like but they've also apparently have lost like a fuck ton of Thanksgiving games. Like this kind of always happens.
It's like it's a total Lions thing to like lose Thanksgiving games.
Yeah. So it's like again you could be like bummed about it if you're rooting for the Lions to actually win a division, but you also have a Vikings team that just lost.
They just lost to the Bears, which
yeah.
Can I say it?
Yeah, I do want to talk about the Packers, but go ahead. You could.
No, I'll finish the Packers.
No, I was just gonna say the thing I've always liked the Packers. I don't know why. There's just something about the Packers being a cheese team that just gives me a lot of joy. But
I don't share in your excitement for obvious reasons.
Yeah, no, I respect that. That's fine. But I'm hoping that we do see this Packers team continue to play like it did on Thursday, where I know obviously you wish otherwise, but it just as someone who wants to see a frisky team in this NFC play, because I don't want to see like a flatlining team going to the playoffs. In the NFC, and I feel like if the Packers are going to continue to play like a little bit spicy, like maybe they beat the Chiefs on Sunday Night Football. Who knows? This is all this stuff can be like. I feel like it would be nice to have a frisky wildcard team get into the mix, and I don't know. It's gonna be fascinating if Jordan Love actually ends up working out for them, and he seems like he's playing very well as of late. So. I don't know. It's interesting. Anyways, talk about your go fuck yourself.
So we got 2.
Yeah, we got a lot.
Time for the go fuck yourself game of the week: the New York Giants versus the New England Patriots. Oh my god! I did not watch this game, but I've heard it described on Twitter saying if you're not a fan of either of these teams and you're betting on this game, you need to call the gambling number.
I do want to talk about something, but wait on that. Listen, the Giants are a mess, and I understand that. I think the Tommy DeVito led Giants are giving me more joy than last year's Giants.
Tommy DeVito is such like you wanted a folk hero like Josh Dobbs. It's fucking the Italian stallion Tommy DeVito.
Yeah,
he's fucking perfect. Like I obviously Illini bias, but it's so funny to watch. Like
and I have Syracuse bias. Like it's the same thing.
Just this desperate fan base. Having something to cheer for after a successful season when their team's back to being shitty.
Yeah.
It's so good. Bill Belichick sucks. The Patriots suck.
Yeah. No,
that's... I love how like everyone is getting their digs in on them. Like fucking Alex Smith going like, oh, they played in the shittiest division of football for a decade, which true.
Well,
2 decades.
Okay, that's true. Yeah, so he when that rant was his response to Tom Brady when Tom Brady was like, the product, the league product is not where it used to be. Which I think there's some valid aspect to what Tom's saying, but like
right, but it's also it's like a little bit of a down year for offenses and quarterbacks compared to the past few years, which have been really up. You can't just keep going up with offenses,
right? And the defenses are finally
object
starting to catch
permanence
up,
is a thing.
Which isn't this what people wanted? Didn't we like look at that Chiefs Rams game a couple years back, and everyone was enjoying it, but there was these curmudgeon football fans that are like, "Oh, football as we know it is dead because defense no longer exists." Guess what? This is what you wanted. This is what you wanted.
This is what you wanted. Yeah.
And now we're saying it's bad
fine.
product. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Like, give me a break.
It's like I saw a fucking like comparison because like Jalen Hurts is like the front runner for the MVP, and they showed his numbers this year compared to Drew Brees' runner-up numbers, and it's like, what happened to the game I love, motherfucker? Why do you want the same thing every year?
It's a defensive year, and that's fine.
Go be a Chiefs fan if you want the same thing every year. Jesus Christ.
Right. Well, but even the Chiefs are
even
a
then,
different.
even then, they kind of suck this year, you know.
On offense, at least.
On offense, yeah, their defense is actually really good.
Yeah.
Also, the go fuck yourself game of the week, and this is the go fuck yourself game of the year. I don't think anything will top the Chicago Bears winning with 4 field goals over the Vikings. And the Vikings did score a touchdown.
You and I are just united in go fuck yourselves.
Fuck ourselves.
Specifically this year. It feels like
we should go fuck ourselves, is what the truth is. Fire Matt Aberflus. Chris, no joke, if the Bears don't choke those 2 games against the Broncos and Lions like they did, we're 6-6 in the playoff hunt.
Oh, boy. You got 4 wins? I thought you had,
we have 4 wins.
That's insane.
I mean, we have the number 1 overall draft pick because of the Panthers, but...
No, yeah, like, you're in great shape. But you have to fire your coach, though, too.
You have to. We have to.
You have to fire Luke Getsy.
Oh my god, Chris, if I see another fucking screen pass, I think that preseason game where DJ Moore, like, ran for 60 yards off a screen pass against backups broke Luke Getsy.
It was so
because
funny.
That's all that he calls now.
It was very funny on Monday Night Football this week, seeing all like the memes of like TV screens and phone, like it's like see, like this is Luke Getsy and it's a guy with like 500 phone screens in front of him. Yep. It's like it was very good, and I just immediately thought of you. I was just like, Matt's being tortured by this game.
And like, listen, listen. Even back when I like didn't watch any football other than the Bears when I was in like junior high school,
sure.
Like the screen passes never worked. Jay Cutler's screen passes were the worst thing to watch. Were the worst television product I've ever seen. That's not true. Big Brother 25 just existed. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah. So that's that. And then let's talk about the Panthers because this was a 17-10 victory for the Tennessee Titans, who themselves have had. I feel like we have not really talked about much on this podcast, but they've had like just a down year overall. I mean, it's not like. They have some hope. I mean, Will Levis is a decent quarterback, and we'll see how things go for them in the future. But the Panthers, we got the report late after the game that David Tepper left the locker room and then shouted "fuck." So,
yeah, buddy.
And that was my first signal. I was like, oh yeah, we're getting a fire tweet in the morning. And sure enough, Frank Reich was fired. And I've never felt more bad for a one and done, fired in the middle of the season head coach.
Yeah.
Because I'm not saying Frank Reich is like God's gift to coaching or anything. But I feel like he seems like a decent guy, and he also has shown that he's pretty good at coaching. I mean, he was a major reason why the Eagles won the Super Bowl. He was a major reason why the Colts made it to the playoffs in his first or second year, or whatever it was. Like, yeah. He's a decent coach, but I don't think he handled it this year well, but I also think it's on ownership and just the organization as a whole as well, and how they handled it. It seems like a disaster right now.
Wasn't set up to succeed, nor was Bryce Young, and that's a damnation on David Tepper. Yeah. The fact this will be his 6th head coach since he took over. They haven't had a winning season since.
That's including interim, by the way. Just
including interim, yes. Yeah.
But no, that's still atrocious.
Yeah. Not a good owner, not a good situation in Carolina. And who do you attract with this? You don't have your first round pick. Your quarterback has been struggling. You don't have a deep roster at all. You spent a lot of picks, and I'm saying this I have a unique viewpoint as both a Panthers and a Bears fan.
Very
you
weird.
Yeah, you sold out to go get this quarterback that your head coach didn't even want.
Right.
And the quarterback that your head coach did want is balling out on another team. And that's not to say that Bryce Young will be bad forever, but you have to put him in a situation where he can succeed. And look, Joe Burrow, Trevor Lawrence, they didn't have good rookie seasons. Not everyone has a good rookie season who's good now. Josh Allen even was panned a lot his rookie season. It's not
100%.
Yeah, this is not Bryce Young will be bad forever. But you can't expect him to you can't put that pressure on a kid to single-handedly save your franchise or go that hard into the paint to get him and then not come through with it.
My understanding of Tepper is that he's a lot more hands-on as an owner than you'd want him to be.
Yep.
He does want to have a say in the things that happen in the organization, which obviously if you own a team that does make some level of sense, but you also want to have the people that are smarter than you about the game and the product as a whole want to make those decisions and put your team in a good spot. And if this is his 4th head coach that he's firing in a 2-year span across multiple sports. He owns a soccer team, the MLS team, and he fired 2 coaches in that span as well. It's just not a good atmosphere. I don't know who would want to coach this team, like you said. But you need to nail it. You need to nail it higher. And when you're first person that comes to when the early leaks of who you're interested is Jim Harbaugh, I really I'm not saying Jim Harbaugh would be a terrible hire, but it just feels like a reach to me.
Okay. It does, and Harbaugh's also been a Bears look for as well.
Yeah, right. I mean, listen.
Silly.
Harbaugh's probably going to be an NFL coach soon.
Absolutely, especially with all the cheating stuff that's been happening at Michigan.
And I'm not saying that it's I'm not saying that he will be a bad hire. I mean, he did take the 49ers to the Super Bowl. He's not a bad coach. But
he's a good coach.
But it's just
it feels like it could end up being a desperation Urban Meyer hiring.
That's my point. And I think when you think about that, and the other coach that was also thrown out there was Ben Johnson, and I'm that I kind of can get behind because you've seen what he's done with Detroit. And I want him. I want Ben Johnson to stay with Detroit long enough for them to at least get a division title.
Right.
But I think he has shown that he's one of the better offensive minds in the league. That does make sense, but does Ben Johnson want to be on your team and instead of being on the Lions or instead of another head coaching position? That's the problem. It's rough, man. I'm sorry to Panthers fans. You're the laughing stock of the league this year. It sucks. It's a real bummer, and it's a pain in the ass to be in this position. You just have to hope that you have to hope that they nail the hire, and you have to hope that Tepper's either not involved or he gets smarter about it. And I would, if anything, right now I don't really have much faith that he would. So you just have to hope he's just not as involved. And I'm curious about if they're gonna fire the general manager too, Scott Fitterer. He's been around for a little bit, but Like I feel like
still hasn't like
done much.
Put together a good team. Yeah.
Yeah. Like and like you have some key defensive players that have been great, but yeah, it's weird. It's just a weird situation. All right. That was a good discussion. Otherwise a relatively decent week number 12. But we will talk about week 13 in just a bit. Let's do a quick jump to the VBBFL. Last week, we had decided to change the name of one of the teams and add a new team. So far we have the Holland Strulips and the Roswell Mozzarellians. Both phenomenal. Can we make it 3 in a row that are phenomenal? We now bring you back to Illinois.
Oh my God.
We're back in Illinois.
No, we've never been to Illinois.
Well, we almost did Illinois last week.
Oh, that's true.
And then we backed out.
Yeah.
But we're back, and this time we're going to do Kankakee.
Kankakee.
Thank you.
Kankakee.
Kankakee, Illinois, which is looks like it's actually close to Chicago.
It's like an hour or two south of Chicago.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So then that's
I've driven through there before.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I like the name of the town, the Kankakee.
Yeah, Kankakee.
I don't know what the origin of it is, but it seems neat.
Probably
Native.
Native American. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Most things are.
Oh God! I scroll down immediately, and it says in 1999, the city was mocked on The Late Show with David Letterman after being named America's worst place to live.
I mean, I can see that.
Oh no. It says in 2015, the gazebo. I'm sorry. As a gag, David Letterman donated 2 gazebos to the city in the hopes it would proclaim itself as the home of the world-famous twin gazebos. In 2015, the gazebos were torn down and a rocking chair was built from the wood. It was sent to Letterman for his retirement. That's very good. That's actually
so funny.
That's actually very, very good. All right. So, obviously, we want to continue our theme. I just don't know if we're gonna strike gold like we did last time.
No,
where aliens and mozzarella just came together.
That was
manifest destiny there.
Not that.
Whatever. It manifested.
We just manifested.
Maybe no destiny there.
Manifest destiny is a very different thing.
Yeah, I probably I forget.
I think that was I forget his name. I'm pretty sure it was the nation's 5th president, whoever that is. About
wait, don't tell me. James Monroe.
His the whole sea to shining sea bullshit.
When I was a little kid and I was much smarter than I am now. I memorized all the presidents in order.
Who's the 11th president?
Zach Taylor?
No, James K. Polk.
Damn it! Isn't Zach Taylor near there though?
I think it's 12 or 10. Yeah.
Yeah, but see, so that's what I mean. Like that I used to have that knowledge down pat, and it's just gone by the wayside now. Because who fucking needs that information nowadays?
Right.
But yeah, that's just something I've. So the city's name is probably this is in the history from Wikipedia. The city's name is probably derived from a corrupted version of the Miami, Illinois word Tiyakiki, meaning open country, exposed land, and open land exposed in view. And of course, the Miami, Illinois, also known as Ironwa. Sorry, I'm just terrible butchering this, but it's the indigenous Algonquian language.
Algonquin,
thank you. Spoken in the United States. So, yeah, it's unfortunately probably another one of these white settler towns, but so is everything in this country.
Everything in this country is you can't
you can't escape it. So
you can't escape it. So I will say, like Kankakee is not like known for anything regional food wise.
Sure.
Like we could burn our corn here, but
the Kankakee popcorns. Because we're burning.
I will say the city of Kankakee website does only have 2 restaurants listed.
What?
Shout out!
It's a city.
It's well, okay. So with the way that like economical and like civilization development goes is sometimes that it depends on how the local government is run.
Fair enough. Okay.
In a way, whether it's labeled a city or a village or a town or something like that. They all have different like I know the city of Kankakee has 24,000 people of it. There is technically a village near me that has definitely more than that.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Just curious because it feels like it's enough of a major, like I say major, but it's like 24,000, but still like that's a decent sized town to have at least some level of like, I don't know. I just think a lot of towns would have food establishments like that, but that's fine. So, I mean, here's what I'm going to throw out there. If we can't figure out something creative with this, I do have a backup town. I
would like to hear the backup town.
So just to throw it out there.
Yep.
And there might be an obvious pick here if we go down this route. And you might also need to help me with the pronunciation of this one. The Havre de Grace.
You're gonna have to spell that.
It's 3 words. It's French as hell, it seems.
Yeah.
HAVREDEGRACE. Well, so it's Havre de Grace. Those are the 3 words.
I see it. Yes.
And it's in Maryland. And immediately when I think of Maryland, I think of wait, no, that's Maine. Never mind.
You're thinking of lobsters. Maryland is crabs, though.
Right. There you go. So that's just that. I'm just throwing it out there.
I mean, so I will say this, looking at it immediately, Havre de Grace. I'm gonna have to ask a French person how to pronounce it.
We're gonna need help with this one. Guys, we need to ask this part first.
I'm gonna look it up.
AKA Google Translate.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. The ad is playing out of the wrong speakers. Why?
It's okay. We didn't hear much of it. It just sounded like static for the most part.
Okay. Why, Julian? Why are you giving me such a long intro?
Okay, you're doing the better thing at actually looking up YouTube. I would have just yeah, no, I'm looking at the various
Havre de Grace.
Havre de Grace. Okay, so
Havre de Grace.
Okay, so the H is silent. Havre de Grace.
Let me do it again.
Havre de Grace.
Havre de Grace. Havre de Grace.
Havre de Grace.
Havre de Grace.
That's a hard name to say for a football team.
Sure is.
But I'm here for a challenge.
Yeah, I mean it's got a lot more to it. Like crab is obviously a thing that we can take from Maryland, and I feel like Maryland is small enough that it's like part of all of their culture.
It's also on the water. It is a bay, or what would that be called in the middle there of Maryland? There is that like a bay or a river?
I don't know.
I'm gonna say it's like a lake or bay or whatever, something along the lines. It's at the head of Chesapeake
Bay.
Chesapeake Bay. Yes, there you go. But there you go. The translation is the Harbor of Grace.
There you go.
In French. And looks at attractions. They have popular for recreation and tourism. There are marinas and service operators along the shoreline, yachts, lighthouses. There's the central business.
David Hasselhoff is from here.
Great. Cool.
So is Cal Ripken Jr.
I don't have a strong opinion about Hasselhoff, but I will always love his appearance in the SpongeBob movie.
It's great.
And the fact that he widens up his breasts to perfectly store SpongeBob.
That's a word for them that you can use.
I know pecs is a better word, but breasts is better to me. And he opens up his breasts and just squeezes SpongeBob and Patrick in there.
God, if Anchor still did audio previews, I need that like isolated.
I mean, I am not wrong when I'm talking about this. I'm just stating a fact. I'm just using maybe more uncomfortable wordage. That's all. Yeah. I mean, look, it's so embracing of its waterness. This town, this being by a river and bay. I mean, we could look up.
Oyster and crab harvesting, yeah, for sure. Like crab is our food.
There you go.
Yeah,
I mean, but I will say it says oyster and crab harvesting. I like oysters.
Oysters could be cool,
and I think oysters. Forgive me if I'm wrong. I know I took like 9 years of French and have not retained much of anything of it. I really lost my brain at a certain age. I don't know. It's really bad.
It's Chris. You play too many damn video games.
That's it. We gotta blame the video games at the end of the day. But I think the Havre de Grace oysters. I think oysters to me does speak to. I feel like it's very French for some reason.
It's already very fancy.
Very fancy. Havre de Grace. We also could just do. We could shorten it and say Havre Grace or Havre oysters rather, or the Grace the harbor of Grace oysters, something along those lines.
Oh, you know what? This is mildly interesting. Havre de Grace missed by one vote being named the capital of the original United States to New York City.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah. That's kind of wild.
Yeah,
yeah.
I wonder where those cities would be if the reverse happened.
Right.
Because I don't know, the Maryland, because now you look at Havre de Grace, and it's only has 14,000 people.
Right.
In it, so that's kind of nuts. I don't know. I think I'm kind of cool where we landed.
They do also have. I mean, do we want to combine oysters with something else?
Do you have something in mind?
I mean, I'm trying to think. The other thing they seem to be known for is lighthouses.
Oh boy.
I don't know if we can. I know it's gonna be their name's gonna be a mouthful.
It's gonna be 10 syllables.
Havre de Grace lighthouse oysters. That's not what we're doing. But
the light crabs, the Havre de Grace light crabs.
Havre de Grace
light crabs.
Crab lights.
Crab lights.
Oyster lights.
I want to turn oyster I want to do
oyster is very punny.
It's very punny.
It's got a nice sound.
I will say apologies to Kankaki. Kankaki rather.
Yeah.
Because we completely
No, listen, from as a resident of the state of Illinois, there's fucking nothing in Kankakee. There is very little in the state of Illinois outside of Chicago. That's just how it is.
Yeah, because this was the Illinois. This was the second time that we have thrown Illinois under the bus, but here we are. Maybe
it's okay. It's okay. I'm from Illinois.
This is the story. This is maybe the story arc for Illinois. Maybe the final team.
The final team will actually be in Illinois.
Will actually be in Illinois. It'll make sense.
It's part of the Underground Railroad.
I wish I had more puns in mind. Like, what are some like synonyms for light? Like, I think like illuminating or bright. I almost want to combine words like a word with oyster or a word with crab, and I feel like
lumen oysters.
Lumen oysters. I don't hate that.
Shining oysters. Av de Grace shining oysters. I mean, all we've got so far is all like one word. So.
Right. I mean, and
yeah.
like we have strudels and mozzarellians. Like
right.
And like that, it was always gonna be hard to hit.
But I think
the gloisters.
The gloisters. Glowy noise. The gloisters.
The gloisters.
Av de Grace gloisters.
That sounds gross.
It sounds really gross, especially after the French word, the Av de Grace gloisters.
But I kind of love it.
How long can we say gloister in a Twitch stream?
Before we get like TOS banned.
Right. Gloisters. Gloisters. Don't hate it.
I don't hate it.
I don't hate it. Glows versus Glosters, which isn't as good.
Glosters would be a better name, but it's not as funny.
It's not as funny as Gloister.
Like, it's just not.
What? And like, we're gonna get to the point, and this may be the point where we're gonna show these team names to our friends, and they're gonna go, "Chris, Matt, what the fuck are you talking about?" What is a gloister? And we have to say, oh, it's like a lighthouse oyster. It's like, what is that? That's not a thing. You're making it up.
There's like a stream of thought that we have to kind of explain.
I mean, like that's where War Train came from, but at least War Train is like a cool name.
It's right. This one's just, what the fuck are we doing? But
so in my head, I'm imagining a lighthouse, but the top of the lighthouse is an open oyster. The light shining out of the mouth.
Dude, that actually fucking slaps. I actually love that as an idea for that at least helps if Walsh ends up doing the logos again. That will help in terms of us trying to explain what the fuck we want out of this like godforsaken name. Like, but I listen, it was always going to get to a point with this concept that it was going to reach like
absurdist level,
yeah, like specific horror, like almost like a horror film type, team names where we just kind of like present it to our everyone, and we're like, this is it. This is what we've done. This is what
you get to choose from.
This is what we spent an entire episode talking about. We spent an entire episode building up to Gloister.
To Gloister.
I feel like we can't move on.
I think it's Gloister. There's no other option.
What the fuck are the colors for Gloisters?
So we already have green. I was originally thinking like could do like a green color. Mm-hmm. I mean, oysters don't have like a lot of color to them, you know.
I mean, they're brown. Like,
they're brownish.
The shell at least is brownish.
Yeah, like kind of like a buck's.
Yeah.
Brown.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not. I think the Bucks is a very good pull. Like, I think that fits in that wheelhouse.
And with light, like, you think yellow, but we're not doing fucking Wyoming, Valparaiso, like the piss and shit colors. I don't want to do that.
That's fair. What is there a specific? I mean, we've only done 2 teams, but
right.
Is there?
We don't have any blues yet, and I feel like blue and brown.
I don't hate it. That is a very harbor town color. I will say if you look on the Wikipedia page, and there is a flag of the town. There's two different blues.
Yeah.
There's a much more navy blue that is in like the outside of it.
Yeah.
And then like there's an inside seal that has a little bit more of like a, I don't know how I would describe this blue, but it's like
a little more royal, a little bit more teal.
Yes,
not
exactly.
not super teal, but just a lighter blue.
I feel
not
like
quite cyan or anything.
I feel like the blue that's in there with a
the middle
brown
one, with a brown
and a like a Buccaneers brown, I think works very well.
Sure.
For this.
Yeah, I'll write pewter.
Yeah. Yep.
Because that's a Bucks color.
Yes.
And there's not a ton of glowing there, but maybe like that's like I don't know, like some accent white or yellow coming off of it.
Yeah, I mean, we can.
It's an accented color.
If you want to reflect that in like a uniform or the logo. Like,
yeah,
it's
not an official color, but yeah, kind of like how the Mothman had like a little bit of blue, even though that was an official color.
Here's what we'll do. The uniforms at night glow in the dark.
There you go. Perfect.
that's how will we at all talk about that? I don't know. That's that. But for anyone who ever makes any fan fictions about any of our VBBFL teams, now you know that's some lore for you. For the Gloisters. I'm very happy with that name. It's the bad. Gloisters. It's terrible, but it's what we deserve. the Havre de Grace Gloisters.
Havre de Grace Gloisters. The mouthfeel going from French to Gloister is horrid. I will say that.
It is
horrid. It's really horrible.
And
but we have to do it.
Isolated Gloister by itself. Gloister.
It sounds fine.
It's disgusting, but has good mouthfeel.
Right.
It just has
kind of
a little bit. Like it kind of like it has a good flow to it.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a disgusting flow.
We're gonna I seriously think we're gonna get to a point where our friends are gonna refuse to do this because of our team names.
That's fine. Listen. I've already talked about. We don't even. My schedule and everything might hinder a lot of what any hopes for the next season. But I think it would be very fitting if what causes VBBFL to no longer exist is them just being like
Gloisters.
We are protesting. This is asinine that your football team name is called Gloister. This is the dumbest shit that you guys have ever come up with, and you come up with a lot of dumb shit. We're crossing the line here.
So funny.
All right. Well, that's it. That's our season 4. That's our third team joining the VBBFL. We'll be back for next week for more of that. Anyways, let's do our picks. This ended up being a lot longer of an episode than I expected, but we're powering through. We'll keep going.
Yep, maybe fast picks.
Fast picks. Real quick, week 12 records look like this. Matt went 12-4, got 8 points. Did not get his chaos, but got his guarantee. I went 11-5, got 6 points, got my chaos, did not get my guarantee. So the overall records look like this. Matt, you're at 111, 69, 41 points. I am at 103, 77, 24 points. Still deep in a hole, expanding every single week. But that will not stop me from making bold picks because I think that's more fun.
I agree. I like having fun.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Let's start off with the Seahawks at the Cowboys. The boys, like we said, coming off of a nice performance against the Commanders. Now going to face a Seahawks team that has been slipping. What do you think is going to happen in this game?
I think with as you said, the Seahawks slipping and the Cowboys being very dominant, especially being very dominant at home, I think the boys are back in town.
I do believe I agree with you. I will go with the boys.
Indianapolis Colts versus the Tennessee Titans. Chris, if the playoffs started today, the Colts would be in the playoffs.
That's nuts. I really, I that was the pick that I feel like I'm like, wow, I forgot about the Colts' existence and that they're in decent position.
Yeah, because they lose their rookie quarterback. They don't have their really good rookie quarterback. They don't have a ton of depth as a team, but they're being really well coached. I think Shane Steichen's doing a good job.
Not play for a little while.
Right, but they got Zach Moss, so.
But Zach Moss has been amazing.
Zach Moss is good, so.
Yeah.
Versus the Titans, who beat the Panthers, but really have not. Will Levis has been looking good, but have not been that great overall as a team. The Chargers exist now. I was going to say they're them and the Patriots are leagues behind the rest of the AFC, but the Chargers exist. So.
Yeah.
And, those three teams are leagues behind.
Yeah. Well, it's the AFC is ripe with 4-win teams. There's also the Jets.
Oh, that's true.
In there as well. You know what? I just said what I said about the Colts, and you think hey, that would mean I would pick the Colts, right? The Titans, as of late, have had the Colts number, and the Titans, for as bad of a record as they've had, are undefeated at home. How fucking stupid is that?
That's weird. They've only had 4. They have an international game. Them and the Ravens.
Yes, maybe.
Yeah, Titans Ravens was in London.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So they're 4 and it says 4-1 at home, but I'm guessing they're that was
a home game.
But they lost that game.
Right. It counted as a home game, but it was in London, so they're 4-0 in Tennessee.
Yeah. That's nuts. That's stupid.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Probably they won't win this week, but I'm going to pick them anyway, just to be frisky.
Okay. I respect it. I'll pick the Colts because I'm Gardner Minshew's #1 fan.
Yeah. Sounds like a plan. Next up, the Chargers versus the Patriots. Yes, we talked about the Patriots earlier. They're in bad shape, but we just talked about the Chargers, who are also in pretty bad shape. This is a bad game, but Justin Herbert's there, so maybe it makes that at least somewhat watchable. What do you think is going to happen here?
I want Brandon Staley to get fired, so I'm going to team cast the Patriots.
I enjoy that pick a lot.
There's no other reason. I want Justin Herbert to succeed very badly, and the Patriots are stinky doo-doo. But
I like it though.
Literally, the pick is so Brandon Staley is closer to getting fired.
That would do it.
That would absolutely do it. I would hope so.
Them losing to this Patriots team would probably end his career. But I am gonna still pick the Chargers.
This is probably the single worst chaos I will ever pick.
That's fine. No, you're good.
It's fine.
You're in fine shape.
Detroit Lions will not be playing on Thanksgiving, so they may stand a better shot against the New Orleans Saints, who lost to the Falcons. Very tight race. 2 teams at 5-6. I think the Bucs are at 4-7.
Sure.
So NFC South still wide open. Saints want that victory. The Lions want to prove that they're not frauds by beating, a not good team. But do you think the Lions have a shot? Have a shot to regain their glory?
I think so. The Saints are also stinky doo doo. I think the NFC South in general is stinky doo doo. Stinky doo doo. Now the name of the episode, I think.
Why?
I don't know. I feel like I took it from you, and then I've just picked it up, and now I'm like, you know what? This fits.
I learned it from you.
Either that or Gloucester. I don't know.
Glouster, yeah. Obdegras Glouster. It's the oi sound.
It's the oi. But no, I'm going Lions.
All right, I'm also going Lions.
There you go. The Atlanta Falcons at the New York Jets. Gross. What do you think's gonna happen? I don't have nothing for this. This is rough.
Well, Chris, of course, Aaron Rodgers' 21-day practice window opened up.
Oh, yes, of course.
I mean, I don't think he's gonna play this game. He is targeting Christmas Eve as his return.
I'm sure that would make complete sense to play a game for the 4-10 New York Jets or whatever.
Right, where they're absolutely gonna be eliminated from playoff contention at that point. So it literally does not matter.
No one's going to be impressed with you. They're going to be like, what the fuck are you doing?
I'm picking the Falcons.
Arthur
Smith is going to bullshit his way into a playoff berth.
It's insane. You're right, and that's probably what's going to happen. The Jets are so bad, but I'm going to go in that direction. There's something about, I could just see the Jets defense. Ritter showed progress last week, but I just feel like he could come back down to earth too.
For sure.
And so I think that's where I think the Jets could win this game. But that's my pick.
So next up is Arizona Cardinals versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers had a 400-yard game immediately after firing Matt Canada. The last time that they had 400 yards in a game, Remy. Oh my God.
It's okay. It's
the last time they had 400 yards in the game was the immediate game before they hired Matt Canada.
That's wild. That's stupid. Man, like, I think Mike Tomlin's one of the best coaches in the league. He's so good at what he does. But, man, you gotta look at the evidence, my guy. Oh, goodness gracious.
So that said, who are you picking?
Yeah, I'm picking the Steelers. I mean, look, Kyler Murray, he's showing progress. Like, he's doing well, but I just don't think the Cardinals are a team built to win. And Steelers are. I think the Steelers are in good position right now to get better and are going to.
Yeah,
and I feel good about them.
Their offense is actually working. Plus, they have an amazing defense. Plus, they, don't have division competition right now. I'm looking, and they're the one AFC team that I didn't put in my midseason playoff predictions. Obviously, that was before Burrow and Watson went down. But
right, their division has fallen apart. And they're in fantastic position. If
they're making the Steelers are making the playoffs. There's no question about it.
And like, man, like, God, what a fucking, again, talking just about Mike Tomlin, like, this guy's gonna have another winning season. It's insane.
Love Mike Tomlin, cool guy.
Yeah, I think I already said Steelers, and you said Steelers, right?
I would be shocked if I didn't pick the Steelers.
There you go. Miami Dolphins at the Washington Commanders. Washington's in rough shape. And now they're going up against the Dolphins team that had an incredible play against the Jets where they ran a Hail Mary back for a touchdown.
Beautiful. The Fail Mary.
It was a Fail Mary. Very good. Very, very good for the Dolphins. A team that has lost its pace, is not nearly as amazing as they were earlier in the season on offense, but still has a lot of good players. What do you think's gonna happen here?
There's very little difference between the Commanders and the Jets for me, minus the Commanders actually have a quarterback.
Right. Which is a difference. Which is a big difference.
It is a difference, but still coaching incompetence.
Yes. Totally.
So I'm going to choose the Miami Dolphins.
I concur.
Cool. Chris, week 2 or 3, if I told you that the Denver Broncos and the Houston Texans was going to be an interesting matchup, would you have believed me?
I forget where the Texans were at, but they were definitely like 0-2.
They were like 0-2 or something, yeah.
Yeah, I probably would have been a little surprised, yeah.
Yeah, this game's going to fucking rule. The Denver Broncos are on a 5-game win streak. The Houston Texans did just lose to Jacksonville, but have the Rookie of the Year in C.J. Stroud and have just been looking awesome on in many aspects of the game. Will the young Texans defeat the very experienced Denver Broncos?
Yeah, I do think this game is a bit of a toss-up. I mean, because I think the Broncos have had a really good defense, and that's been the thing that's been, I think, the biggest thing carrying them through this win streak. But of course, Russell Wilson's played pretty well, and they've had some key players stand out on offense. I just still gonna rally around the Texans. I know it didn't really go the way that I was thinking last week, but I still think that this Texans team has an outside shot of winning this AFC South. And I think that march will continue in this game.
The Texans have won me over so hard with their battle red uniforms that I am now putting the Houston Texans battle red uniforms atop my uniform ranking list, which I think we need to do another one of. But like not the regular Texans uniform, but the specific Houston red ones. Oh my God, they are incredible. That fact alone, even though they're not playing in them in this game, I'm guaranteeing the Texans.
Very nice. That's where I initially thought that was going to go.
Yeah.
But then you went on the costume tangent. Why am I saying that? Uniform tangent. I do want to do a uniform ranking. The thing is that we have to agree on what the best uniform from that team is
for each team is, and then only do one per team.
Yeah, and then do one per team and then rank it. Which I agree. I think the Houston Texans red is their best. And
yeah,
I wish they kind of embraced it more. The red helmets specifically is just
the red helmet. Oh,
yeah, it's so good.
It's such a beautiful shade of red.
Yeah, fantastic. I picked Texas.
Your turn.
Yes, that's right.
Yep.
Panthers at the Bucks. Panthers going to be playing their first game without Frank Reich as their head coach. Buccaneers. What was the Buccaneers game last week? Fuck. What was the Buccaneers game last week? I forget.
Did they have one? They
did. Oh, 49ers.
49ers. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that game was as forgettable as possible.
That was 2 weeks ago then, so they may have been on bye last week.
No, everyone played. Everyone played last week.
Well, last year was 49ers Seahawks.
Was that the Colts? That was the Colts game. Yep. That's right. Yep. And the Colts won against the Bucks. That's right.
Yep.
Okay.
Anyways. Weird uniform matchup too was both were in their darks. It was Colts blue versus Bucks pewter.
Yeah, that's interesting. Bucks Bucks are a bit forgettable at the moment outside Baker Mayfield maybe. Anyways, what do you think's gonna happen in this game?
The vibes are bad in Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
I'm picking the Buccaneers.
You know where I'm going with this.
Yeah, head coach just fired. I know.
Team Chaos Panthers.
This is
the third time I'm Team Chaosing the Panthers. By the way.
Yeah, and how's that been going for you?
I won for two.
1 for 2.
I got them against the Texans, and then I completely botched the Cowboys. I feel good about this one. I feel good about it because I believe in the coach trend. When they change coaches, it just comes together and works. I agree though. This is probably the most one of the more like tumultuous scenarios.
Yeah.
To go get behind the coaching bump, the coaching change bump, but I just believe in it hard enough where I'm gonna
whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, whatever it is, I'm gonna.
Did I lose you?
Do you not hear me anymore?
Uh-oh.
You lost me. Oh no.
Now you're back. You're back.
We're good. But anyways, I said whatever. My point was just I believe in the coaching bump. So, Panthers, Team Chaos.
Cleveland Browns versus Los Angeles Rams. Rams putting together a really good offense performance. Kyron Williams somehow being the star of this offense right now, despite Kupp and Nakua and Stafford all being healthy. Versus the Browns, DTR did enter the concussion protocol.
Mm-hmm.
And their offense did not look good. In general, Garrett also dealing with an injury as well.
Yes.
So that's huge. Do you think the Browns stand a chance with that in mind?
So it does sound like the Garrett injury is going to be okay. Like it sounds.
Yeah,
like
I don't think he'll definitely play, but it could affect him.
Yeah. No, so that they don't have to worry about him being off the field. How effective will he be? Remains to be seen. Yeah, last week surprised me. I really thought the Browns would take care of business. Their defense would take care of business. But maybe things have fallen through there. The Rams are just a very unique team, and they're having such a surprisingly good season for just having a really good young core that it feels like they're going to be able to build like the next few years around, which is really cool.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna pick the Rams. Even though I could see the Browns defense bouncing back here and having a good game, but I'll believe in the Rams.
I'm also believing in the Rams. Very good.
There you go.
Very cool.
The 49ers at the Eagles. Big boy matchup. Two of the NFC's best going at each other. Rematch of the NFC Championship last year. This time, hopefully, Brock Purdy will play the entire time.
Let's hope.
What do you think's going to happen in this game?
This is a big matchup. I think this is the stop everything and watch this game matchup of the week.
Sure.
Nothing else matters but this game.
Absolutely.
I'm being a little I was being a little hyperbolic, but now that I'm looking at the rest of the matchups, I don't think I am.
No. Not a great week.
I'm picking the fucking 49ers.
I'm guaranteeing the 49ers.
Oh.
It's a risk. I know. But again, I want to make good content. So that's
okay.
Thing. But,
yeah.
But reason why is I think the Eagles have had a great run. I think there is going to be this is an Eagles team that is still flawed, and I see them stumbling at least one more time. And it just feels like this would be the game to stumble. Just because of the way I think the 49ers defense has gotten so much better, especially with the addition of Chase Young. Like, this defense is getting better. Their offensive is looking great as usual. McCaffrey's still doing his thing, but Brock Purdy's been playing very well. I believe in I do believe in the 49ers, and I think that this is going to be it for the Eagles, at least getting one more loss, and I think they'll be okay after the fact, but this will be the speed bump for them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm also picking the 49ers.
Yeah.
So.
There you go.
I'm in agreement there. All right, Sunday night football, Kansas City Chiefs versus the Green Bay Packers. Packers did manage to surprise the Lions on Thanksgiving. Jordan Love is looking good versus the Chiefs. You know, started rough against the Raiders, but then did the Chiefs thing against the Raiders and came back and won. So, who do you think's gonna win?
Remember back in what was it, 2020, 2021? 2021, I think.
Yeah.
Either
COVID season.
The first start for Jordan Love was against the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Did not go well for him.
No.
I think it will go maybe a little bit better in this game, but I'm gonna pick the Chiefs still.
I'm also picking the Chiefs.
There you go. And finally, Monday Night Football, the Bengals at the Jaguars. This would be such a kick-ass matchup if Joe Burrow wasn't injured.
Yeah.
Fucking Christ. Just the biggest bummer of the season. Regardless, Jaguars, of course, should be feeling relatively good after beating the Texans, who have been, just in general, a thorn in their side. Big-time victory that puts them in a good position to win the division and prove me wrong. The Bengals, of course, feel like they're about to just fall out of the whole thing, and it just continue to freefall. But will they shock the Jaguars on Monday night?
No.
Yeah.
Trevor Lawrence does a lot of things that hasn't been the greatest quarterback performance of the year, but you know what Trevor Lawrence does? He wins football games.
Yes, he did. He does.
Pretty good. So. Yeah.
There you go.
You got the Jaguars.
I got the Jaguars as well. And we are sitting at 4 disagreements.
That seems normal for us. It feels like we have a lot more disagreements this year than past.
Yeah. I'm surprised. I thought we were on our track to hit 5 again, because I was surprised that you ended up going 49ers with me, but I love it.
49ers are my team this year. Like, it was the Eagles last year. I'm like more 49ers this year, but
yeah. No, I am very I very much feel like it's the 49ers having had the run that they did, that in the middle where it felt like they were in a bad slump. It just that they had a similar thing happen to them last year, and then they bounced back and they were fine, and it just feels like that they're back on track for that. And beating the Eagles is going to go a long way for them. If they can beat them, it shows that they can be be back in the Super Bowl soon. So
absolutely,
we'll see how it goes. So there you have it. Longer episode than I thought it was going to be, but we had a lot of fun discussions. We created the Gloisters. And we talked. What was the opening topic again? We went on
edible mascots.
That's right. The college bowl mascots. I cannot wait for bowl season. What a weird sport. Anyways, thank you all so much for listening to us ramble for this time. We'll be back next week with another episode. Who knows what we'll do, but probably another VBBFL team and more NFL talk as per usual. Thank you all so much for listening, and we'll see you guys next week.
Good night and good ball.